Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back. It's Jordan here. Yesterday I cleaned this place up. Oh, that feels so good. And now I'm going to continue working on the Lego City. Got my coffee mug ready to go here. And we got 3 water plates done now. So 1, 2, and 3. There's a bunch more to go. Yeah, I think those look really good. Just a great representation of the deep blue sea. Am I going to build more of those today? I've got lots to build, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and then all the canal plates. So literally like 30 of those or more. Yeah, I should probably do that. Probably just sit there and build the water. But I don't know if I feel like doing that today. I think I want to work on more structure-related things here in the harbor, in train yard. Specifically, I want to deal with this here, this rock that's sort of wrapping around here. So I think I'm going to bring all these plates upstairs and we're going to start to build that rock work and start to create this cove. And that also includes some water work right over here by the old fishing store. I think that's more important. And then once I get some structure built in here, I can continue working on more water plates. And I should probably do this when I have a helping hand here, just so we can crush it out together, because we're just gonna get it done a lot quicker and it'll feel like it's a lot more efficient. But yeah, those look so good. I love that. That looks just awesome. I love just the like sparkle it gets from the lighting in here. So cool. But yeah, let's bring these plates upstairs and get started. In order to get started, I just realized I've got to take on a complicated task here. This huge table, I want it upstairs. At first I was like, yeah, I don't think I need that upstairs. But I want it upstairs, just because when I'm building these massive plates, the bigger the table, the better. But oh man, how am I gonna get that up the stairs? I guess if there's a will, there's a way, hey? Probably not too hard. Maybe these wheels will just go right up on their own. Ooh, or I'll break it. Yeah, there we go. Gonna get her done. Probably mess up my paint job here. That's good. That's how you do it. The workspace up here is very versatile, and I think that's so important for when it comes to building Lego cities. Like for example, right now I've got like this weird corner desk. It's going to be perfect for this rock panel. It uses one of the large tables that I just held up there, also the smaller table with the wheels. Then I've got a sit-stand desk over here, and I can change this up however I want it to be. I could take this table and put it up against the parts, or I could put it perpendicular against the parts, or I could have them parallel to the parts. I just think that's awesome. You know, before I was doing a lot of the building down here, which didn't really make a whole lot of sense, because then I had parts down there, I had parts upstairs. I know I was doing a lot of things related to the roads and just the reconstruction of the city, so it might have made sense to do it down there, but ultimately if I ever want to work on anything, I can just haul it up here, build these as individual plates. For example, this would be all separate. Just make sure not to overlap any bricks or studs, and then they're all individual. I can just haul them down. So why wouldn't I just do it all up here, keep all the parts in one place, and also keep the mess all in one place as well. It's funny, it looks like I actually made a mistake when I transferred these plates onto my build table here. They're not in the right order. I'll talk about that a little bit more later on in this video. But the first thing I'm doing is just laying the 2x2 bricks that I got from the pad wall the other day on top of those dark bluish gray plates, and that's just going to be the start of my rock work. Always just got to start it off with the blocky pieces, and you'll see some colorful pieces going in the interior of that just to provide support, and of course those get covered up with the dark bluish gray pieces. No sense in using dark bluish gray for support, that's for sure. So I started with the 48x48 plate there, now I'm transitioning into the 32x32 plates. It's a pretty cool looking cove. I dig it. I think it's going to be like a neat little area. It's supposed to be like a human-made cove that's like a wave break for the beach, and it prevents large boats from going into this area. Now that I have the 2x brick laid, it's time to go crazy with slopes. I've got a bunch of 1x2 dark bluish gray slopes. Not as many as I would like though. And also I've got some 2x2s, 2x4s, 2x3s, 1x3s, all sorts of different dark bluish gray slopes. And I'm dumping out all my different slope bins to try and extract them all and pool them all together. And I use a ton on this just because it's two-sided. So just adding them wherever I can, starting at the bottom and working my way to the top of the rockwork within the cove. I always like doing dark bluish gray rocks. I think it's the best color. And of course you can add other colors to that, whether it be vegetation or light gray or whatever it may be. But I always like doing the foundation in dark bluish gray just because I think it is the most natural color for rocks and mountains. And just like that, I've added hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of pieces to this custom landscape. The cove's off to a great start here. Adding those slopes definitely helps break up the blockiness of the 2x dark bluish gray brick. And that's, you do the slopes on both sides, of course, so it consumed a lot of them. I'm out of the 1x2s specifically, which really help with that. I've got some more like 2x1s and also taller ones, but I think there's enough slopes on here for now. My supply or my stock of dark bluish gray slopes is pretty much depleted. It's just these two bins now. Now I do have some other mountains downstairs that I have to retailer, so when I take those apart, it'll free up a bunch of slopes because those all have to be rebuilt anyway. So I have more, but I just gotta smash some mountains down there. Now another thing that I'm gonna do is add different color variations with vegetation and also some light bluish gray curved slopes. And I'm also going to start adding the water as well. The water goes plate and then tile. That's why I decided to add the plate underneath all this rockwork, because when I add the water, it's a plate higher, and I didn't want to bury these slopes below a plate. So first off, I've got to grab my blue bin. So this has medium azure, dark azure, blue, dark blue, and then I also grab my black plate bins as well. And I'm just trying to add as much water detail as I possibly can. I am running low in some of the smaller medium azure, blue, dark blue, black pieces, such as 1x2s, 1x1s, which really helps you like add more detail to the water and just more like texture. So I do need to order more of those as well. That's the story of my life. But I'm using the 3x3 dark blue plates that I found on the pad wall, and then a bunch of other miscellaneous blue stuff that I found on the pad wall along with the black stuff. And I'm obviously doing the lighter shader of blue along the rocks, and then transitioning into the black in the center. And you know what? I'm not doing as much as I normally would with the light blue or the light azure stuff. I'm more so going right into the regular blue and dark blue because I figure this is like a steep drop off. It's a cove. There's not really shallow water next to the rocks. So there's a bit of that dark azure color, but beyond that, it's mostly the blue, dark blue, and black. And wow, I'm really liking the way that this landscape is coming together. It's pretty big, like that's a lot of surface area. I want to talk a little bit about the Lego City landscape in general. There's been a lot of people commenting saying that I need to add more texture and more landscaping to the Lego City in general. I've mentioned it time and time and time again. I am adding a mountain range in the center. I just need to get the parts for that. It's going to consume a ton of parts. Also, I plan on adding texture to all of the green space, tan space, countryside, beside the train track, in all the surrounding areas, and I plan on adding elevation to a lot of things. Like I've started with the canal. I do plan on adding elevation. I do plan on adding texture to the landscape. It just takes time. That's all. It's just all part of the process of building a Lego city, and I just can't do this stuff overnight. But eventually, you know, we'll get her done. All this plate work here should work out quite nicely with the water. I'm going to have to determine how I'm going to transition from the dark trans blue water, which will be over here where the boats are all parked, into the light trans blue, which of course will be here because the old fishing store is going to be right there. I think there's some nice pops of vegetation color here on the rock work. Also added some light gray, olive, dark tan. Probably could add more. Maybe more like cheese slopes, more curved slopes, and more slopes in general as well. But I'm gonna have to add all the trans blue and trans dark blue tiles to this once I receive my order that has trans light blue, because of course that's why the waterwork has sort of been held up in the trans light blue front. But I'm excited about placing this and seeing how it looks in its home. So this is sort of funny. I placed the 48 by 48 plate and the first plate beside it, and then I go upstairs and grab the remaining 3 plates, and as I go place those, I realize, oh my gosh, I didn't build this correctly. I guess I got the order of these plates mixed up when I brought them upstairs and didn't realize. So yeah, whoops, that wasn't good. I guess I should have paid a little bit more attention when I brought those plates upstairs, but like all the dark bluish gray plate that I had lined up with the way that I had it, you know, up there. But you know what? I actually think this is going to turn out for the better. I mean, of course, I could just rip it apart and rebuild it, but I actually sort of like this. This is pretty cool. You've got like this cove that's closed off completely from the harbor now. So originally, how it was supposed to be, this plate here was supposed to be over more, and then one of these was supposed to be turned sideways like that. I guess I could just very easily move some stuff around and make it work. And then these would go right here. It wouldn't be too hard to modify, but I almost like the new version of it better. I hope I do, because it would be sort of a way to rip it apart. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. I don't know why I did that. Whatever, humans make mistakes, right? But this is how it was, sort of like a puzzle here. So yeah, with not building down here, when I bring things upstairs, I just got to make sure that I pay really close attention and maybe take some pictures of what I'm bringing up there and what it's supposed to look like. But I actually like this because now this gives more space to the harbor over here. And I'm probably, well, actually I know for a fact I have another boat that I need to rebuild. It's like that old cargo boat that goes with this crane right there. So once I get that there, I'm gonna need more space for boats anyway. Also, I can space out the boats in this area a little bit more, and I could even add another pier if I so choose. So maybe this was like beneficial, because maybe this cove didn't need that much space. In fact, the boatyard needed it. So yeah, maybe I knew what I was doing. There you go. I think that's a pretty cool cove. I will have to do some more rock work back here. I think this looks a little bit awkward, so just build it out a bit like that, sort of curve that corner. And it's not like I have to rip these plates out. I got a lot of them, so I can just start putting my brick on top, relocate some of these slopes and build that up nicely, just to make more sense in that corner there. And then build my seawall out so that it actually goes together with that rock work. So taking a negative, honestly, and turning it into a positive, I think this is better. This could change. Maybe I need to have it end right here. So for example, just rip this out and put it right there. Or have it go all the way like that, and then it's just a short little hop, skip, and a jump over to the lighthouse. Another thing that I could do is just connect it to the lighthouse. Originally, I thought it'd be cool if boats were able to pass through here, but boats can just go around this way. And I think this is more of like a cove. So I'm probably gonna run with the mistake and say, hey, I think that works. It's pretty neat. It's too bad I don't have more of the tiles, because I'd like to tile all this water off and get that done. I did order some. They are on their way. I do have more of the dark blue, and this is actually going to make it easier to transition into the dark blue. The dark blue is just going to be like all over here, and then there'll be like a light transition right here going into the light blue. So that's another positive of this mistake as well. There you go. I think that looks pretty sweet. I should fix up the rock work on this plate though. I just finished putting a little bit more work onto this plate here. This one goes right up against the old fishing store there. I put some sand behind these rocks and just transitioned it with some slopes and plates and all that. I could probably put some curved slopes and add some more texture to that sand, but I'm not really sure what's going to go behind those rocks at this point. I also bolstered up these rocks here so that corner looks a little bit better, and then I filled in the spot where that sailboat was. And let's place this. Well, hopefully I lined it up right this time, hey? I think I did. Yeah, I like that because we're gonna have sand back there as well. So now I've got to create a 16 by 16 plate for right there. That's all tan. and then a 32 by 32, and then I think 2 half base plates as well. And then I accidentally made some green ones. So I put the green ones back there because I was originally going to fill this in with green, but then I was like, wait a minute, there's a beach right here. Why not fill it in with tan? I was like, oh, I could just swap up those plates for tan, but why do that? I need to build all these green Mills plates everywhere. So it's never a mistake to make green Mills plates because I need like unlimited amounts of those. But I think this looks really good here. Yeah, I like that cove. That's going to be some good shots right there. I've got to get this all built in as well, get all those train tracks ballast, and also just do all that in landscaping with like green and a gravel road. But I may as well create these base plates and fill them in with tan to represent sand, just because I'm working on this area anyway. Man, building things like this takes time, especially when you can only put it in half days, because Mrs. Brixie's down to half a hand, and I only have help for a certain period of time throughout the day. So we're down to working half days right now. But what did I need to make again? I should go double check. It was tan base plates, a full one, a 16 by 16, and 2 16 by 32s, right? Let's get to it. Thankfully, I have some tan 16 by 16 plates, so I'm going to use these to construct my half base plates. I like that because it takes way less parts and way less time. But seriously, everybody, I cannot even begin to explain how happy I am with this workstation up here. I knew my day was coming to a close, so I quickly just put all the parts away. So much better. Oh my gosh, this just makes me so happy. Also, my buddy Tim, Stings Bricks, he dropped off these 1x4 dark trans blue tiles because I didn't have enough to do all the deep blue sea. So now I have enough pieces that I can continue that tiling and texturing with the cheese slopes as well. And that's what I worked on after placing those Mills plates. I started doing some of the underlaying plate and the rest of the water here. Just making sure it matches up with the tiled stuff there. So I did some of the blue, and now I'm doing some of the dark blue, and I'll have to transition into black. But once I get the base layer done, like the one that actually matches up with the existing plate, then I'm just going to take all these plates upstairs and do them up there where I have access to all the parts and a nice place to sit. But I figured I'd just bring 1 or 2 part bins down here and start taking care of some of that just so it matches when I bring it up there and I can't actually see. So there we go. That's the cove. Looking pretty good. Obviously, it would look a lot better if I had the tiles. Yeah, I probably need to add some more texture to this water too now that I look at it. Some more waves. That's easy enough though. Just pop a few of the tiles out and add some more waves in there. And there's the Mills plates that I placed. So that's all sand now. And of course, I could add more concrete area just on top of those sand plates. And I'll have to add like texture and everything to the sand as well, similar to what I've done in the beach areas. Just need to determine where my sidewalks and everything are going to go. And then I need to get on building a lot more Mills plates as well. But it's just like one thing at a time. When you want to do things in a really detailed way with Lego, it just takes a lot of time. Because think about how many parts we consume just with this here today. Like how many parts did I use with all the underlying plate, then all the brick, all the colorful brick concealed by the dark bluish gray brick, and then all of the slopes, the vegetation, all that stuff. And then the tiles just takes it to a whole other level as well. But I'm excited about getting the tiles. I can't wait for that order to arrive because I can get all this water done. I feel like that should be my top priority. You know, like of course I could transition into working on things back there, or I could work on the amusement park, or I could work on redoing the zoo. But I just feel like I should get this done because when you look at it from here, it's like, I want this water to look beautiful. I already got like this area of the city done, right? Well, not quite done. It still needs details and vehicles and minifigures and the canals and a lot more detail. But like the base layout for it is done. And now I'm trying to do that with just the water and the beach because it's in the foreground, and then I'll slowly work my way to the background. But yeah, there we go. Another exciting day in the studio. I hope you enjoyed the creation of this cove. Thank you so much for coming on by. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Farewell.